Republicans claim to be about the rule of law, but only when it's convenient. For example, 34 governors, mostly Republicans, said that they would not allow refugees that are in the U.S. legally to enter their states. Now, that's against the law. It's been against the law for 35 years since the Immigration Reform Act, I believe it's called, of 1980. Just a few days ago, at the Presidential Family Forum in Iowa, which was hosted by the conservative group, the Family Leader, Mike Huckabee pledged to ignore the court, meaning the Supreme Court, and that we should, quote, defy the court. If he were president, that's what he would do, by recriminalizing abortion and, of course, gay marriage through executive fiats. He also reiterated his plan to outlaw abortion with a presidential decree. You'll notice during this clip that Mike Huckabee appears to have absolutely no connection whatsoever to the real world. And that will become apparent when you listen to the words he is saying, but also when you pay attention to how he is saying them. He really seems to be living on another planet. Let's take a listen to Huck.
Should be done. Ignore the court. Defy the court. Because it is the constitutional, not right, the constitutional responsibility of the president to not allow that judicial branch to overreach. And as far as we've often, for many of us, we've fought the life issue since the 70s. For 42 years, we've been on the defense. And the fact is, it's time for us to quit being on the defense. The next president should say, not we have to pass a constitutional amendment, because we don't. We simply accept the Constitution as we currently have it. And we invoke the Fifth Amendment, which guarantees due process before you can deprive any person of life or liberty, and the 14th that guarantees equal protection under the law. And we simply say there will be no abortion because that unborn child is a person. And if it is not a person, it is entitled to no due process. I finish with this.
Please finish.
If that sounds radical to you, if that sounds bold to you, so be it. But it is radical that we have eliminated 60 million unborn children in this country, and we have pretended that there's nothing we can do about it. The truth is, we can stand up not for a constitution we want to rewrite.
Okay, imagine for a second that those alleged 60 million kids were born, and then they become of reproductive age, and then they start having children. Imagine the multiplier effect on the growth of our population. And who will provide for those kids, or the kids of those kids? Who will provide the jobs? Who will provide for the medical expenses? Who will provide the food, the living space? Not Republicans, Lewis, because as we know, they claim to be pro-life when it comes to unborn fetuses. And then all of a sudden, it's no benefits, it's no social welfare programs, it's no free preschool, it's none of it.
That's 60 million children that would be deprived of Sesame Street if the Republicans had their way.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, but we think about it differently. To them, it's this weird mix of science and religion. It's like, is it a person? Is it not a person? Does it have a soul? Does it not have a soul? And somehow the two get mixed up here, and it creates this incredibly polarizing topic.
And an important piece of what they say to debunk is they keep saying the Supreme Court cannot make law. That's correct, and the Supreme Court hasn't made a law. Laws are made, and then they are appealed all the way up to the Supreme Court, which decides, does this law fit into the rules of laws that we have? When the Supreme Court makes a decision, they are not making law. They are saying whether the law that was made elsewhere conforms to the standards that exist in the United States. Let's take a break. Great interview coming up next.